Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode.
Hey.
All right, and today we want to talk about hygiene.
You stink.
Okay, wait a minute. Not that type of hygiene. We're talking about spiritual hygiene.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and that's been on talk for like centuries, right? It's not even new. When we talk about spiritual hygiene and we bring up, the biblical aspect of it, it looks like it's something that's been practiced for centuries.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, I feel like nowadays we don't talk about it more enough, or we don't bring the attention to it of how a hygiene can, if we're not maintaining our hygiene,
Right.
can help or deter us.
Okay. So I think it's because I guess it might sound a little religious, especially for those of us who are not really into religion. Well, that's why we really focus more on the spirituality aspect of it, because that's something we can all relate with, all right?
Yeah.
We all need spirituality. It's just part of how, we operate.
Exactly.
Now, as far as like sexually transmitted demons, that's something that I think we should discuss a little bit more, because it affects us more than we think.
Okay.
We just don't know what those effects are, and so we don't really know what to look for or really see it as something that's alarming.
Absolutely. And before we even go into that, go ahead, like and subscribe if you have not already. But yes, STDs. Some of you may have them.
So
Sexually
dramatic.
transmitted demons. Oh my God.
Yes, you can have one. You can have anyways. All right. No, seriously. It's just all right. So let's just talk about the physical effects first of all. All right.
Yeah.
To kind of help you out and relate, especially for, like I said before, those of us who aren't really religious. Now, sexually transmitted demons, they affect us in ways that, alter our moods, alters our behaviors.
Yeah.
And even if we were just discussing disease, like the STD, that even affects us, physically. You know what I mean? It affects our brain, our mood, and how we think. So it's not that far-fetched. You know what I mean? Like, this is already a study that's been done years ago already.
Yeah.
Where they have mixed, spirituality in that sense with science. So this is nothing new. We're just focusing, solely on the demons part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the physical health, because y'all know how to take care of yourselves, if that were to happen.
Okay.
But a lot of us don't know how to take care of ourselves spiritually, right?
Right. So let's help you with that. So that D part, the big D, and that D don't stand for demeanor, okay? It stands for demons. So the demon aspect of it. So demons, as we or may not know, were used to be angels, fallen angels.
Okay.
So they're entities.
Right.
So when we're talking about sexually transmitted demons, we're talking about
those entities attaching themselves to you,
yes.
And they're transferred through sexual acts.
Exactly.
Now, why through sexual acts? I would want to say is because, sex is a powerful transmission of energy, right?
It is the creation of energy.
Right. So, you can even create life out of that. So, it's a very strong transfer of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel like some of these demons, when they transfer onto you through sex, it takes a while to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's actually possession.
Mm-hmm.
Your body's possessed by these entities, and especially like we were saying, through the sexual act, we're exchanging bodily fluids.
Yeah.
Come on now, just that idea of it is having the interchange. So, physically too, or spiritually, I should say, is y'all are exchanging demons.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all both could have demons, or maybe it's one demon transferred to the other.
Yeah. But either way, it's just like, it's something, if you don't catch it, it's like, all right, so, and I think of, let's think of, I don't know, some celebrity couples as examples.
Yeah.
Blueface and Krishan.
Okay.
You think they were just they're transferring demons onto each other.
Back and forth.
Okay. And they're acting, like each other, because now y'all got the same demons.
The same
right?
fluids running inside of you. Yeah.
Yes. And you'll see one partner really start to mimic the other person's behavior, especially the one that, transferred the demon. Because it's all right, so you're probably, have a harder time regulating your emotions. You probably, get angry much faster. You get more irritated.
Yeah.
You're not as compassionate or as loving. You become such a pessimistic person.
Yeah.
All of those are hints and signs that you could have attracted this sexual demon from the other person.
And then overall, the compatibility is just not, like, you could just tell, just based off the example we're giving as celebrity couples, it's a toxic couple. They're fighting on and off, emotions are all over the place. No security, like no emotional intelligence or management at all. And that's really what that essence looked like I was saying.
And even
lack of control,
love bombing, and you know, the like you said, possession, and feeling like literally you own the person. You know, like all of those things are like weird variations of like sexually transmitted demons, you know, where it alters your behaviors.
Absolutely, yeah. So what are like some of the symptoms? Like, because it's like, okay, well, we know, like you were saying, that some of the physical symptoms of a physical STD, like for example, right, they manifest in your skin. Like if you got you caught something or whatever. Well, spiritually, there are some symptoms as well that we're gonna help you guys look out for too. And one of the biggest things for me is gonna be like a lust. Okay, so it's like if that person is lusting after you extremely to a point where they start to possibly act upon it, because you know, if you think about it first, right? But if you're lusting after someone to a point it becomes immoral, that could then be followed by action, and which could lead to something immoral, right? So it's kind of like lusting is a huge sign of like STDs. I mean, come on now, you're wanting to possess or go after this person, or you're objectifying that person.
Without even like a conversation or even thinking about getting their consent first. Like you just overly, you know what I mean, lusting.
Okay.
That's definitely a sign. And I want to go with memory loss is one. You know, where you don't really recall things as they occurred. You know, there's always some sort of like twist to the story. You know, like it's just it didn't quite happen as you remembered it.
No.
And you know, you just and more so too, like your short term, you know, memories. Like you just don't have that retention as well. Is also a sign. Like you're kind of foggy in the mind. You don't know, you know, like some of the things that you do kind of feels automatic. You know what I mean? Like you're just kind of like moving.
Robotic, kind of like, okay, just moving. I got to. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
So that's also a sign, you know, of like, you know, a demon, a sexually transmitted demon that just hovers and just hangs around you and just sucks your energy pretty much.
Oh my gosh. And you know, they kind of go hand in hand with, you know, vampires, but let's not even go into that. But yeah, like those are some of the few signs. I mean, if you have something that's like, say all of a sudden you're sick, right? And the doctors don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You're incurable.
There's no explanation for whatever this disease is, you know, whether it's autoimmune or whether it is sexually transmitted. It's just there is no explanation. It's like
they don't got any answers for you.
Yeah, like, you know, might even send you some extra place for some extra testings, because we're also teaching our doctors with our conditions. And there will be new conditions they've never heard of before. And usually that's the case. And it's funny. It's like I would see some like movies and shows and stuff like that where they do portray that because they know it's true. In these movies, and they would show that, you know, when they cast the demons out, the person magically starts feeling better.
Right.
You know, like the hair loss is gone. Your hair is growing back. You know, all the stuff that was on your skin is disappearing. It's going away.
Okay. You're starting to feel better, you know, you have more, you know, control over your actual being, your emotions. That is all, you know, things that is taken accounted for, because that possession, what we're trying to tell you, it's real. Yeah.
I mean, what are some other symptoms? I think you said
excessive masturbation.
Oh,
yeah, because all that too is like, if you cannot control yourself, like, you know, you're going all random ass places, publicly doing that, and you gotta pull it out.
Freak.
And like that right there is, I mean, if the name doesn't say it itself too, the lack of control. The lack of control is you being possessed.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you can't control anything now because that's the one track mind that you're on. It's definitely giving you've gotten a demon, STD.
Yep. Let me see, what other ones? I think for the most part, besides mood fluctuations, you know, and your inability to really assess how you're feeling, you know, it's just you'll get a feeling and you sit with it and you mope and you're just what's wrong?
What's wrong
Nothing,
with
or
me?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, yeah, probably that STD, you know?
That part. I mean, how do we even get out of that? So you may now be in this loop and you're like, okay, well, potentially I may be dealing with this transfer of demons.
Mhm.
How do we get out of that?
Well, okay, so a lot of us are probably thinking, oh, okay, well, you have to go pray for 7 days and 7 nights. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, so I'd like to think that something as simple as cleaning up house, okay, getting rid of old energies, you know, bringing in new energies, and that simply just means getting rid of your old stuff, you know, especially the ones that, you know, carry bad memory and don't even make you feel good anymore. Get rid of it. Like, you know, just get that fresh feeling, that fresh air, that fresh start in to really, because there's no room for them to really linger if you're just, because that's cleaning is that's like spiritually,
it's spiritually
lifting,
linked.
you know what I mean, your space. It's like a spiritual thing too.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, it's been numerous studies by feng shui. You just clean it up, you automatically feel better. There's a science behind that. Something else I would add too is be mindful of your partners. I mean, like, let's act like we don't have, you know, we do have control over that. So, you know, if you gotta reassess the partners you're coming into, you know, with, find out which one of them makes you feel good and which one doesn't. Like, I tell you, you could be with a person and you could say, like, this don't make me feel good anymore, right? Or this feels off, and you have to trust your intuition and your gut and then go by that. But most of the times we can definitely tell when a person's not good for you. So definitely evaluate that. You definitely evaluate your standards, your partners who you have coming in contact with you, because you do not want any, you know, demonic like people around you.
And guys, there is like no cap for how many of these sexually transmitted demons you can get. Literally, there's no cap. So you could be walking around with billions of
just latching
attached
onto
to you, and each one of them have their specific little functions, you know, that affects you in your day-to-day life somehow. Like, trust me, you want to clean up house every now and again. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, you just want to, and even how some of these demons, you don't even need to have sex with them for them to latch onto you, to jump. You just need to touch the wrong thing, whether you believe that or not. All right? It's all energy. You know what I mean? Something happens when I go this to you. You know what I mean? That feeling, you touch, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's more happening than just that touch.
Right. Exactly. Y'all don't see it,
My
but
vibration,
in this world,
you know what I mean? Like, altered your vibration somehow.
Exactly. Just by that, right? But y'all don't.
So, yeah, guys, really take heed into the things that you can't see. And, you know, don't be so naive.
Okay, because the unconscious will rule everything around you if you don't bring, you know, if you're not bringing attention to all that shadow aspect of your life. So it's kind of like, and you know.
What else could you think we could do? I mean, cleaning up house, what else?
Like, so honestly, well, right after the act, if you're feeling a little down, and that's, you know, following immediately after the act, go take a shower. A good shower, like, spiritually will just cleanse you, release all of that. And while you're taking that shower, you know, visualize you throwing things out, you know, like visualizing it falling down and going in the drain. You know, because like being flushed down.
You're right, because water carries energy, right? And that cleansing, you know what I'm saying, can, like, it can really be, it does something spiritually to you as well.
It like resets you. And then, so then that way you could go on and be more intentional. So it's all about that, you know, like bringing awareness to those who you are coming in contact with and those who are around your space, and kind of just like being more intentional about your partners.
Don't go to the same places you used to go to. That every time you step in the building, you know what I mean, it's a mood. Like, places that are like, it's more so like a mood that's attached to it. Be careful of that too. It was like, oh, I'm feeling kind of like low, dim light, that, you know what I mean?
What's
that
going on
smoky,
here?
that, girl, it's giving, if you don't watch that demon, it's coming out. It's sipping out, girl. Like, so, just really be mindful of those, like, mood fluctuations and wanting to go for a certain mood, and to go to a certain place to get that mood. Like, that's a demon.
Okay, no, that's exactly right. And like, for those of you who are religious, then, you know what I mean, if you do run across our channels, I'm sure going to church and having the pastor, you know, confessing your sins and whatnot will have you go through that process. You guys are familiar with that if you do that already. You know, so it's kind of like things like that is going to help you kind of recalibrate and going back to yourself, because that demon is a, a third person, a third, demonic entity that's affecting you and your surroundings.
And
so
it can sound like thoughts, you know what I mean? You might get weird thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts.
Just like a random thought that'll come in your mind, or you're like, what was that? Or sometimes you don't even catch it. It just immediately transfers the feelings to you, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Whatever that thought was.
Okay, and that's not even your thought. That's your partner's thought, who he got from the demon.
Yes, and whoever else you might have encountered throughout the day. You know what I mean? So really be mindful. And I mean, I know some people who don't even like to touch people for that reason.
Yeah, and and it's not to say anything bad, but it's like, you gotta be protective of yourself and your energy. So it's kind of like, if I know if I'm gonna go to someplace over there and it vibrationally hurts me, I can't step there. I gotta do better for myself because I know better, right?
Yeah.
So that's like the challenge we bring to you as well. If you know better, you gotta do better, and definitely bring.
If you want to,
okay. No, that part, because we gonna do better.
Okay. If you want to, girl.
So definitely bring some intentional, awareness to your day-to-day life now, and the STDs that we are bringing to your attention, because like you said, this is nothing new. It's been going on for centuries. It's been in the Bible in terms of all of this happening. So now, if you do like this, what we're talking about, we do talk about that. We do drive through like this every single week, similar topics. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you have not already, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.